What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Bianconeri Zone for a daily news show where we're going to talk about Giuntoli's massive task. He has in front of us this summer. In front of him this summer, we are in the Champions League. It's crazy. I think I forgot the stats, to be honest. I think we won like 3 games in 15 or 2 games in 15. Our last goal from open play was like 700 plus minutes ago. Like it's really poor. Like it's really bad. But somehow, some way, we qualified for Champions League basically, and that's because Atalanta have done their thing against Roma, which is a good thing and also a bad thing ahead of Wednesday. But we'll talk about Wednesday later on. It's kind of over, the Coppa Italia. If you win it or do not win it, it has no impact on what's coming next season. Maybe you can say the winning mindset, but even if you win the Coppa Italia, a lot of these players are they're just who they are. It's not going to change anything. That Coppa Italia win is not going to make them winners or better footballs, a lot of them. So that's not really relevant. What is relevant is that we needed the points, the money. We needed the Champions League money to rebuild. Player wise, moving on from Allegri, most likely. All these things, we needed Champions League football. Also, to improve these players and to see if they're actually up for it. Even the new players you're trying to sign, are they really up for the task ahead? Are they really good enough for the future of this club? That's why we need a Champions League. But for Giuntoli, this is a crazy summer, because I've said 2 summers and I'll stick by it that I'll give him 2 summers because this summer it's more of a clear up. What are you going to do? Who are you going to sell? Obviously, the players that need to go, but what are you going to do when you need to sell a player that you actually want to keep, like a Bremer, or you should be keeping like a Bremer? How are you going to replace him? Like, what are you going to do? That's the task he has ahead, and he cannot fail. And will not fail, as I'm going to explain. Let's say in an ideal situation, like let's say we are back in 2016 and we're winning, and you sign 3 players. If one of those players doesn't come good and you need to sell him, maybe now after a year or a year 2, that's fine. But if we sign, let's say, 5 players now, 4 of them need to be starters in the next 2 years. That's how big of a task he has ahead. Like, he cannot mess up transfers now. He can't, and you might throw Diallo at me, and I don't know what to say on Diallo because I've not watched him really play, before he joined Juve, and we've not seen a single minute. So I don't know if he's good in training or if he's poor in training. I don't know if he's a good player or a bad player. I don't know. I have no idea. But if you bring in a new coach, and that's where it begins, because we are going to bring a new coach, like there's no way we're going to not change, because that will be absolutely mental, to be honest. How are you going to back him? Are you going to do your own thing and say, hey, I like this, and this player, here, Thiago Motta or whoever, and work with it? Or are you going to sit down with the coach and be like, okay, it's a rebuild. We want to win, we want to win in year, I don't know, 26. I'm just saying, I'll give you a year basically. What are we going to do? What do you want to play? How do you want to play? What do you need? Which of these players can you say already you can move on? If you can move them on, fine. Which of the players you want to keep but can be like, okay, if I lose them, I can replace them by this, and this. Like, how when you play? When you play before at the back, do you want 3 in midfield? Do you want to pivot? Do you not want to pivot? Do you want 1 winger, 2 wings? Do you want a backup winger? Do you want a striker? Do you want a real number 9 or not? Like, all these things need to be set up. They need to be set out. Otherwise, we're just going to go on the same route again and again and again. There is going to be change. And what the club is doing, or like what Alcon is doing, is telling Giuntoli, I think for the first ever time, do something basically a bit out of the box. Move away from what we've done traditionally the last couple of years, and you do your thing. That's why you cannot fail, because it will all come back to Giuntoli, because he's going to make the decision on the coach. He's going to make the decision on which player he's going to sell to recoup money and which players he's going to bring in. If he believes, like let's say Thiago Motta is like, I need I need Zirkzee. I need Ferguson. Okay, he's injured, but like I need Colt Miners. I need Calafiori. I need whatever. And you bring them in and they all fail. You can point towards Motta, but they're also going to point towards you, Giuntoli. Same as me, because I'm like, okay, you co-sign what the coach asked. You agreed with what the coach asked. You know, that's the task ahead. But it starts first of all with selling players or moving out players, not even selling. You know, what is going to happen with Rabiot, McKennie, Vlahovic, Chiesa, Fagioli comes back, Alcaraz long, Diallo, like what happened to him? Bremer, Huijsen is coming back, Rugani's deal, you know, Alexandro, you need to replace him. De Chilio's contract, like Sule is coming back, Barnechea is coming back, Caio Jorge is coming back, like Arthur is coming back. Like it's gonna be an intense summer, and somehow he's gonna need to navigate a way through it. So at the start of the season, whoever the coach is can be like, match day one, this is my lineup. This is my idea. And throughout the season, I will see if I made the right decision. Maybe I made a wrong decision on a player. You know, I need to tweak stuff. I need to bench him and need to bring him in, excuse me. We don't know. But that's what needs to happen. And it starts, obviously, with the coach. But then it goes quickly. What are you going to do? Who are you going to offload? Like, it needs to go quickly this season. We cannot go into the end of August and we are still negotiating for a potential key player for his squad. That cannot be the case, because if we do that, it's already a mess to begin with. It's already a hot mess to begin with. So we cannot do that. Things need to be very clear ASAP. The moment the season ends, even if the Coppa Italia is over and Bologna beat us next week and they qualify for the Champions League, that week it needs to be made official. Allegri's gone. It's the last match day for Allegri at home against Monza. Final day. That's it. That's how it needs to go. And if it's Thiago Motta, the week afterwards, it needs to be, here we go. Thiago Motta is the next coach. Before the World Cup, it needs Euros. It needs to be clear. McKennie, it's not going to happen. Rabiot, it's not going to happen. Like, these things need to be clear very, very soon. You cannot be in negotiation with Rabiot in July, because then you're wrong. Like, you're doing certain things not correctly. That's just my opinion. But he has a massive task ahead. Because if you look at these players, you look at them now and you're like, coaching or not, like you're garbage. The way you're playing, like the mindset, it's worrying. Like there's no proof that a lot of these players have what it takes to play for this club. Like I said so many times, I don't have no connection with these players. If they sell them all, they sell them on. All, excuse me. If you give me better players, let's go. But that's the thing. That's the thing right now. So let me know in the comments what you think Giuntoli needs to do, and what time frame you will give him, because I'm willing to be patient, you know, to a certain extent, because it's still Juve. There are still expectations, but I understand the situation. However, it's a big task. You came in here to do that job, and you're gonna need to do the job. And if not, you will be held accountable like everybody. So let me know in the comments, like the video, and I will see you guys back later tonight for a live show. Ciao.